Welcome to episode 5 of Build, Grow, Exit, a Prospera Ventures miniseries. In this episode, we're going to explore how we build teams that scale without burning out. I'm Spencer.
And I'm Bianca.
Let's get started.
The challenge to scaling, a problem that's great to have, but as us founders and owners know, working hard and having long nights isn't the way to go or a way to train your team. We've been there, we've done that. It's not worth it. One book that has impacted us and where we learned a lot of information from is Who, Not How by Dan Sullivan and Dr. Benjamin Hardy. We'll put a link below so you can check it out.
Let's take a look at how we applied what we learned in our journey and how you can apply it to scaling your business too. When your business really starts to take off, it's super exciting. Finally, you got all the orders coming in, you're making money, and it feels like a rocket ship. It's super exhilarating. But you get to a point where the small team that you have just can't do everything in a day. And I mean like a 24-hour day. It's not possible. You can't get it done. And so it's natural, at least it was for me, to just hire whoever says they can get the job done. Simple. I need X, Y, and Z done. This person says that they can do it. I can afford them. Okay, maybe I was a little cheap too, but don't be cheap, by the way. That's a lesson for another day. But point being, it's really easy just to say, we need this done. They say that they can do it and help us. So let's throw bodies at the work. That's a mistake. Just adding bodies to handle more work does not mean that you're going to get more done. It can actually be, I think, detrimental personally. So the solution that we learned anyways is to be really intentional about building a culture that empowers people to grow and contribute beyond just their job description, and to really put that first in the hiring process. Mm-hmm. Build for a good fit, right? When you're hiring somebody, the first thing that you should look at, in my humble opinion, is do they fit the culture? Are they high driving? Do they like the people that they're going to be working with all the time? And can they get along? Do they have the same values? Are they really looking to build something meaningful, or are they just there to punch the clock? It really matters. So when you're hiring, even if you're doing it kind of in crisis mode because you've waited too long, focus on hiring the person that's going to fit the culture and the team, and then make sure that they can actually do the job. And even if they're missing a couple of the skills, most of the time, the people that'll fit that high driving culture are pretty fast learners. So you can usually teach the skills that are missing if you have to. There are a few books that we've read that I think really hit home and elaborate more on this concept, at least for me. Good to Great by Jim Collins, Principles by Ray Dalio, A CEO Only Does 3 Things by Trey Taylor. We'll throw those in the description below for you if you're interested. But those helped flesh it out for me and helped me think through things to get a better understanding of how I wanted to hire. And that doesn't mean that you're going to get it right every time. Even when you're focusing on hiring for the right qualities, you're still going to make mistakes. And unfortunately, sometimes you have to hire fast and fire faster, which is not my strength. And I mean, just quite frankly, I hate it. I hate firing people, and I'm not great at it, but you got to do it. And in particular, you have to do it for the most key people on your team, because you got to build that team of Avengers. And once you build that team of Avengers, then can start to transition some of the responsibility of hiring and firing the team that goes below them to other people who are better at it than you are. But in the beginning, super important. Hire fast, fire faster if they're not a good fit. And above all, lead from the front. If you wouldn't do something, don't ask somebody else to do it. You have to lead by example, and the people that are following you got to know that you would walk through fire just so that they would follow you through it.
I'm going to add a bonus tip here in a sense of putting your hiring practice on the back burner, on what kind of questions you're going to ask, what kind of roles you're going to fill. When you get time, because there's so much of it, think about who's going to be responsible for that hiring role, right? Who's going to ask those questions? What kind of questions should they be asking? Thankfully, now we're in the era of AI, and AI might be able to help you really flesh out what those questions should look like for a specific role. But dig in deep into what kind of questions do you want to ask those candidates for those roles outside of just values and skills, because if you want a long-term team member, you're going to have to ask some more specific questions or maybe even scenario questions.
I could not agree more. I think probably the biggest hiring mistakes that I've made is assuming that I understood much more of the context of what was important to that person, where they wanted to go, and how they fit in the long-term vision that I had, but really didn't ask deep enough questions to get to the bottom of it. So really good ad.
Once you've figured out who you're bringing on for whichever role you might need filling, the hiring plan doesn't stop. You need to train this person to be successful in their role. This can usually go one of two ways: micromanaging or not managing at all. It's one thing to give an employee or someone filling a role a goal and what to achieve from it, and it's another to micromanage every little thing that they're doing. And there's a fine balance in how to do that and how you can support your team properly. In terms of micromanaging, you don't want to be that boss that is over somebody's shoulders. You want to be able to empower people to learn their own skills, make their own mistakes. One of my favorite ways in doing this is creating standard operating procedures, SOPs, because this gives them at least a lay of the land of what they're going to be doing and how to accomplish that. You could do that by written procedures, you could do that by video procedures, or even just standalone, someone walking through them in the task at the time of the learning. Once you have your SOPs and you're able to train your employee, whoever's filling this role, in those SOPs, it's good to take a step back. Give them some breathing room, whether that's every few days, once a week, checking in to see how it's going and review their work. Is it to your standards? Is it what you were looking for? Do things need to be adjusted? It's okay to have that flexible entrepreneur mind in this case, because it's possible the SOP you created wasn't even accurate at all and it needs to be refined. Maybe the tool they're using isn't working very well. Maybe the team is being affected in certain ways that the team did not anticipate. So reevaluate with them, adjust as needed, and continue to train and empower your employee.
And I want to jump in and double down just briefly on one of the things you mentioned at the start, which is not giving anyone direction. So on one end of the spectrum, you have micromanaging, not effective and certainly not good for anybody. It doesn't empower your employee and it doesn't give you any time back, because you're still essentially doing the work for them. But on the complete opposite end of that is just saying, hey, we need to go do X, Y, or Z. Let's take sell more, for example. We need to go sell more. Good luck. Get that done. It doesn't give them any kind of framework to work from, and they don't have any real direction or vision of what they're trying to achieve. And I think with a lot of entrepreneurs and visionary founders, that's kind of the go-to. People should just know what the vision is. They should know what we're trying to achieve and be able to fall in line and figure out how to fill their role. But we have to remember, not everybody can read our mind. So it's important to be intentional, create some of those SOPs that Bianca was talking about, and give someone a roadmap so that they can execute to their highest potential.
Remember, the goal of delegating tasks is to free up your time as a founder and as an owner. Train your team, trust your team, and grow that business that's your baby. Let's talk a little bit about burning out with scaling.
Sounds like maybe you've got some experience there.
A little.
Yeah. I know for leaders, at least from my experience personally, both myself and my business partners, it can be easy to just see the results and think that things are going really well with the people that you've brought onto the team, and maybe not have at the top of mind that it's time to bring on more members to the team. As entrepreneurs and as business leaders, we're looking at the numbers. We're looking at results, quite frankly. And when everybody's delivering at a high level and you're making money, profit margins are good, and kicking ass and taking names and growing, life's good. What do we need to worry about? Well, we need to worry about people being overworked and not having the time that they need to balance other parts of life. Because life, believe it or not, isn't just about work and growing the company. They have other things that they need to balance: families, friends, their own personal well-being. It's easy for us to lose sight of. So we got to be really mindful of pushing people past the breaking point. It's easy to do. So quite frankly, for me personally, you got to listen to the team. You have to listen to the team and be open and actually thinking ahead about when is it going to be time to hire some more help? When is it going to be time to fill another position so that everybody has the help that they need?
I think this is also important when it comes to cross-training, right? With us and our team, multiple members knew what was going on and how to fill in gaps, so that if someone did have an emergency, they got sick, they went on vacation, our team was able to fill in. But you can only get so big and have so many duties for everybody that you can't fill in those gaps anymore. So like with Spencer saying that you need to be able to listen to your team, and it's overworking them and they can't do their job and another person's job while they're on vacation. Listen to them, listen to what they're saying, and definitely work on the cross training. It doesn't mean that they're expendable as a person. It means that they're able to have a little bit of time given back to their own lives.
I think that's an important thing to double down on. If you're hiring the right people, you should never have to question when they say they need time. If they need to, whatever it is, take a vacation, go to a doctor's appointment in the middle of the day, go pick up their kid from school. Who cares? It doesn't matter. If you have the right people, give them the space that they need to handle the rest of their life, and they'll still deliver. And they'll tell you when you need to hire more people.
Yeah. And I think this was something actually you and I were really good at, because we hired such strong team members. They were able, and we were able to trust them to not only do their job and their role and being functional people, but also be able to take those breaks, and for us to have no problem at all that they had something to attend to, because we knew that they were going to get the work done, and it was going to be done not only timely, but also it would exceed our expectations every time. Definitely give them the time, understand what your leadership style is, and trusting your team and giving them that responsibility and trust. So I actually want to go back and say that it might also be a cultural thing. If you haven't built a culture of trust and of that kind of freedom, it might be a little bit harder. But I think that's where Spencer and I, we kind of strived for that in our culture, so it made it really easy. Be conscientious of the culture you're creating. If people are kind of scared to come to work, there might be some kind of lack of trust that's going on.
Culture and vision. As leaders, we need to be painting the picture of where we're going as a team, and then collaborating with the team or even leaning on the team for how to get there. But also creating that culture for everybody to thrive in, that they have confidence, that they can bring every bit of who they are to the table and be celebrated for it, not judged for it, and be supported if they need some time off or whatever it is. They can navigate their lives how they need to, and at the same time still perform at a super high level within your organization. Obviously, that's the type of culture that we like to build, and I'm biased, but I don't know what other culture there is that's effective, quite frankly. Anything else to me is either you're not giving your team the support and direction that they need in order to be successful, or you're micromanaging them to the point where they feel suffocated and just can't perform at their best. So take it for what it is. This is my own personal experience and what has worked really well for me, for us. Hire the right people, empower them, create that vision that they are bought into and that they're chasing after and hell-bent to achieve right along with you. Create that culture that's high performing, but also super supportive and understanding that everybody's human and has lives to deal with, and that they know that their team completely has their back, and get out of their way. Get out of their way, let your team kick ass, take names, and when you need to, step in and break down the barriers. But otherwise, your goal, create that vision for them, clear yet also inspirational, so that there's something that they're reaching for, and create that amazing culture. It'll take you a long ways. One quick side note for us visionary entrepreneurs out there who like to focus on the big picture and get super excited about the new ideas, and we're just always looking at the next big thing, but not super focused on like the details or systems and processes and how to get there in the most efficient way, including the systems and processes that you need to hire the best people and the SOPs and frameworks that they need in order to be super successful. Like, it can be daunting when you think about hiring a whole team. You're like, my gosh, we're growing so fast. Like, I need a sales team, I need a marketing, I need operations, depending on what industry you're in, I need quality assurance, etc. It can get daunting. That's a lot of detail to focus on. The good news is, as the visionary leader, you really only have one hire that you need to make and do right. You really need to focus on hiring one fantastic operator who aligns with your standards, subscribes to your vision, is totally bought into what you're trying to achieve, and aligns with your culture. If you get that hire right, then you can lean on them to be the yin to your yang. You can lean on them to really build out the rest of the team and the systems and processes that that team needs in order to perform at a super high level. It's a lot less daunting when you break it down to one person. You got to get one person right. You don't have to get the whole team right. You need that one person that you can partner with and lean on, build off each other's strengths, and go from there. Trust me, don't mess that one up.
All in all, sustainable growth comes from a healthy team, not just hard work. Focus on your culture, systems, and well-being, as well as getting that one hire to be your operator.
100%. Because a business that runs smoothly with an empowered team is not only enjoyable to operate, gives you a little bit of time to actually do life stuff, but it's significantly more valuable to a potential acquirer. So if there's one thing that you take away from this, build a team that is going to take your business to the next level. It's going to benefit you now and when you go to sell.
I know when I'm looking at a business, I love to evaluate the culture.
100%. It's honestly at the top of our list. So remember, we're always here to help. Reach out. We're happy to help evaluate your business, whether you're looking to sell or just need some help scaling. Find us on our website. And of course, like, subscribe, and hit the bell notification so you know when there's a new episode.
Until next time, keep building.